Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'll be talking about tips for interview for medical school. So I have a few friends asking me about tips about how I did my interviews in medical schools, and I always have to type same things all the time. And so I've decided to make this video so that I would just show them this, copy paste the link, and help more than just a few friends. So I hope this helps you, and as well as people like me 2 years ago who were looking for tips with regards to medical school interview here in the Philippines. I hope you find it useful, and I hope you get to go to the med school you want to. Okay, so 2 years ago, when I was in BS Biology pre-med, I applied to 5 medical schools. I had backup to my backups because I was really worried that I wouldn't get into any medical school. So I applied to 5, namely UPCM, UST, UERM, the Ateneo, and St.Luke's. All of them are 5 great schools, and I just hope you get into the school you really want to get into. So all those schools have interview except for UST. So I'm not going to talk about interview in UST because there's no interview. You just have to submit your application form. So let's get to it. Always remember, you have to show the school that you want to get in. So you better be sincere, honest, and if you like more videos like this one, please click the like and subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel. Also, by the way, at the end of this video, I'll be flashing some questions I consider basic questions. These are the questions usually asked in almost every interview. I suggest you have a look at them. Just like to say that all the questions and tips I'm going to say here are from my own experience as well as the resources I was able to find 2 years ago when I had my own um, interview. I compiled a number of questions that I would look at every time I would have an interview in a medical school and answer the questions in my head. Don't expect that all these questions will be asked, or don't expect that the questions will just be coming from this video. These questions are basically just tips to help you, so please don't rely on them. And I suggest that you also look for your own sources. They could also be additional help for you. Also, advice I would really want to give is that you really have to show your interviewers that you really want to get into their medical school. It's one of the things I think I consider important that the interviewers see in you, aside from your grades, is that they have to see that you really want to get into their school. So, as much as possible, try to be really convincing and sincere, but still honest with your answer. Okay? So, also, usually in the interview before it would start, the professor or the doctor would introduce him or herself, and it would be nice if you would remember his or her name so that at the end of the interview you can say thank you. I'm sure they didn't forget your name at the end of the interview, and the least you can do is thank them addressing their name. By the way, I had my NMAT when I was in third year, second semester pre-med. So usually people would have it during their fourth year, but I wanted to take it early so that if I didn't like my score, I could retake it. Luckily, I didn't have to retake it. Thank you. So yeah, just in case. It's also very good since I was able to submit my application forms for the medical schools I applied to as early as fourth year, first semester. And I made sure that I finished submitting all my applications except for UP because they usually ask it like early on in your fourth year, second semester. They ask for it really later than all the other medical schools. So except for that, I was able to submit all the requirements at the other 4 medical schools I applied to before Christmas break, and that's really good. So when I went back to school, which fourth year, second semester, it was just me taking my interviews. Okay, so the first medical school that I had interview in is in UERM. Since I submitted all my application forms before Christmas break, I was able to have my interview just a few days after New Year's. I wanted to have my interview right away so that I can make it as a learning experience that I can use for my future interviews in the other 3 medical schools. And it was a good experience because it was very chill. They asked basic questions. So for UERM, I advise you to look at the pictures I shared with you guys at the end of this video. Save questions regarding basic questions, introducing yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, how you deal with stress. In medical school, you have to read a lot of things. So one of the questions that you will be asked all the time is how you deal with stress, how you deal with people. So it was very chill. It's very chill. I was interviewed by one professor and it took 30 to 40 minutes. And that's an average of, I think, how my all my interviews went, 30 to 40 minutes. And same thing for St. Luke's, okay? So St. Luke's was the second medical school that I had my interview in. And it was also very, very chill. I had it though when I had school already, fourth year, second sem. It was a Monday and the dean interviewed me. And I was really worried because it was like the dean. She's like the head of the school, right? So, but it was just really chill. Also, basic questions again. Also, on cheating. One of the things the schools would usually ask is how you would deal with cheating. If you have ever cheated, it'd be nice if you would prepare yourself to answer questions regarding that. Okay, guys, on to the third school. So that would be the Ateneo. And out of all the schools that I had interviewed in, this school was just really the hardest for me. I felt like I was being asked questions psychologically, such that they were asked in rephrased ways. Example, I would be asked one question, my answer would be A, and they would ask a similar question to the first one, and my answer is still A, but I can't answer that anymore since that was my answer in the first question. So it was just really tiring to say the answer in such a way that it isn't similar to the first one, but still with the same concept. But I think that one of the things that really helped is honesty. I was honest in all the questions they asked, that no matter how many ways they would twist the questions, it would just be the same concept. So if I would give an advice for the school, I advise you to be really honest. Just like Ateneo and Katipunan, they focus on extracurriculars, right? Also for medical school, I think that's one of the things that Ateneo is looking for, life outside school. So I advise you to practice gathering your thoughts about your extracurriculars. It would be nice if you have a position and how you grew in that position. It would also be nice if you know what to answer if they would ask you, example, what you could give to the Ateneo community, as a member of that organization. Practice on your extracurriculars, your talents, life outside school. And one more thing is why you really, really, really want to get into your school. I remember that one of the interviewers I had during my interview mentioned that Ateneo is like a family, a community, and they want to get people who really want to be part of their community. An example, if you go to a different school, let's say like UST, why do you want to go to the Ateneo and not UST? What is in the Ateneo that isn't in UST? And I think it's a hard question because, example, if you say a good point about one school, it's like bashing the other, but that's the least you want to do. So I advise you also to really gather your thoughts on why you want to go to this school, and not just for the Ateneo, for all the other schools as well, just in case they would ask you the question, okay? And another thing is on cheating. Given a situation that someone's cheating, would you side with the cheater or will you tell on her? Have to have a stand, defend your stand. And I was interviewed by three doctors, and actually I thought I wouldn't be able to get into this school because it was just really hard. And after like the interview, my mom asked me after I got out of the room how it was, and I was like, I don't know, because I really didn't know if I was gonna get in. It was really, really hard for me, so I advise you to be really honest. Okay, guys, so time for the last school, and that's UPCM, and I'm so excited because it's my school. So I'll be talking about my school, where I go, where I study, and I grew so much in this school. I met so many people, friends, super friends. I'm just really happy. And from like a school that isn't UP, and then I got in. If you are a person from a school not in UP and you think that you have no hope that you'd get in, to be honest, I thought that I had no hope before too, but I got in. So if I got in, you can get in. And if you do and you were watching my video, let me know and I'll be happy to meet you in campus. Okay. So anyway, I'll be looking at the side because I don't want to miss anything for my tips regarding this school. So these are my personal tips and I hope it helps you. Please don't rely on it, but I hope and pray that you really get into this school and that I'll see you when you get in. Okay, so I had two interviewers interview me. Before I had my interview, I was really worried because I had like 0.0001% chance of getting in since I'm not from UP. I ask a lot of people, and I'm really, really thankful for those people, which is why I told myself that if I get into this school one day, I also want to help people who are like me in UP and like UERM that is structured. This is like whatever your answer to one question is where the question will flow. So example, if you say you like to draw, next question can be related to drawing. Okay, so that's how questions for me went before 2 years ago. Okay, so I think that you should prepare to answer the question, tell us about yourself. So that is the basic question every interviewer asks first. Most of the time, it would be nice to prepare something about yourself as an introductory, since it's the introductory and it's like your first answer. So it would be nice if you would give a first nice answer. It will leave a very nice impression. One of the things that you are doing as a fourth year is on theses. So I think it would be nice if you would practice answering questions about your thesis. What's it about? Is it individually or by group? If by group, then the next question could be how you worked as a group with your group mates. Was there someone in your group who is not cooperative? And what did you do? How did you solve the problem? Did you just let her be? Did you talk to her? What did you discover in your thesis? Why did you choose that thesis? Did you choose that thesis, or did you just have it because it was your advisor topic already? So those can be asked. Next is on cheating and teamwork. So in medical school, one of the things that we really do a lot in UPCM is teamwork. We do a lot of teamwork because we have a lot of group activities that are done by group. Since it's like a class of 180 people, that's a lot of people, and some people might not be working. So questions about group work, teamwork, people not working might show up. And another is how do you handle group work? So next is how do you balance academic life with your social life? Next is why do you want to be doctor? It's a basic question. It's an easy question, but it can be hard because it's hard to express things that are in our minds and in our hearts, and that's a question you should practice for all the interviews. Why do you want to be a doctor? What kind of doctor do you want to be? Do you know what you're entering when you become a doctor? Do you know what you're getting into? So that's an important question you have to answer. Okay, and what's your inspiration and why you become a doctor? So in your interview, you have to be honest, right? So don't worry if you're gonna cry, you're gonna do whatever stuff, just be honest. Just express yourself, show the professor that you really have all the characteristics of a medical doctor. Next is, what school did you go to? How did you go to that school? Example, if you're from UST, how did you travel to UST from your house? Do you like live in a condo? Do you live in a dorm? Because in UPCM, a lot of us, we live in condo around the campus because we have so much to study. And if you go home, commute back and forth, coming from your house, that would take too much time because of the traffic. And can be, how can you deal with traffic? Because in Manila, it's so traffic. Commuting, if you're not a commute, where do you plan to live if you get in UP? Do you plan to go home? How far do you live? Extracurriculars and community projects. Community work did you do? Have you ever done anything for the community? Like example, in your own barangay. Again, why UP? Why PGH? Not why any other school? What made you choose this school? What makes you different from all the other students applying to this school? You should look up on the RSA program. If ever they ask you about what you think of it, are you okay with it to work in the Philippines after medical school? Do you have plans abroad, like that? The mission vision of the school is also important. And what do you do when not studying in your free time? So there. Okay, yay, we're done. And like what I said earlier at the end of the video, there would be basic questions that I think that would be helpful if you would run them down before your interview, but not super before your interview, okay? So before your interview, just relax. Don't forget to drink water before your interview, before you go in the room where your interview will be held, so that you relax and everything. And just take a deep breath, okay? You can do it. If all of us did it, you can too, okay? So you have to believe in yourself, and always, always be honest with your answer, be sincere, and show them that you really want to get into school. Don't forget to show them that you really, really want, and show them what you can give, what you can offer. So I hope this was helpful. So please let me know if you want me to do any videos in the future by commenting below, and if you have any questions as well, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!